We will go ahead and get started. I may have to repost a little bit later. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I am going to... Okay. Welcome to the Business and Abundance interview series. I am Rachel, and I have with me today Sabine Matharu. And Sabine is a incredible online business startup and growth strategist. She's also a double best-selling author and an on TV host. She's published 2 books. She's also an international best-selling author, speaker, and she's featured in large publications. She works with women and she works with the corporate environment to help build online businesses for the past 8 years. And I'm going to actually turn it over to you to share a little bit more about who you are and what you do and who you serve. So let's just start by sharing with us, I'd love to hear a little bit about who you serve and the kind of work that you do and what drives you. What are you really passionate about?
Thank you so much, Rachel. I'm really excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to share real life stories that have some teachings in them. So that's really my goal for today and for your audience. And well, obviously I'm going to share it with my audience as well. And it's not so much about me, but I guess just want to share a few things around what I've done and perhaps the kinds of insights and experiences I can share here. First and foremost, I was not born an entrepreneur. I was the person who had a 9-to-5 job. And there was this one day, and that was probably when I had the kids, I had the realization I didn't want to be in the corporate anymore, or at least not in this capacity, because there was no time freedom. And I think now it's a bit better after the pandemic that people can actually work in hybrid situations. But back then, there was just no opportunity. And the thing was that I was actually working in sort of really high, sort of senior sort of levels of leadership. So there was even less flexibility. And I was sort of flying around as a consultant, working like Monday to Friday out of a suitcase and things like that. So I had some great adventures, let's say, and some great career progression in the past. But I've also had my learnings around what I really wanted in life and what I wanted out of life as well.
I can relate, for one thing, of being in the corporate environment myself and raising children and really feeling that pull to be more autonomous and more free, for sure, and kind of be the guide of my own destiny and not having a board or investors or the corporate structure kind of determine my destiny for me. So I really that, and I think it's so powerful, especially right now, kind of coming out of the pandemic. There's a lot more people who are working at home and have this opportunity to either be hybrid or really it's opened up, I think, a lot for women, for mothers, for people who want to kind of have a foot in both worlds, whether it's corporate or being an entrepreneur. So I love what you're doing.
Absolutely. And I would actually recommend that if you do want to start your own business, that you're not going to throw the corporate out straight away. Try to set something up on the side, because once you, and this is what happened to me, I actually threw everything out and I was like, okay, I'm going to get started myself. And it's actually can be a struggle if you don't know what you're doing yet, and you may be under a lot of pressure to actually make an income straight away. So if you can do it a little bit on the side, build that up, build that confidence, build your skill set, be clear around what you offer, because that's half of the battle, because you going around in circles. That's happened to me. What am I actually offering? it's not resonating. I need to change my message, or maybe it's not the people. I'm not speaking to the right people. So it's been a lot of challenges. Happy to share more around these.
Yeah, well, to that point, I think it's really important too, if you are thinking of starting your own business and you still have this job, to really seek the guidance of a coach or a mentor, someone like Sabine, who has actually gone through the trial and error of kind of learning, and I myself can relate to that as well, because I've had corporate jobs while trying to get a consulting business going and coaching and trying different strategies and time management. So what's really helped me along the way is to have guides and mentors who have done this before, who can share their strategies, share their stories, so I don't make all of those those same mistakes that they did. And what other advice would you give? Because I think that's really important. And I also have kept a job, as I'm building, and have been able to slowly
Mm,
shift that. But, as a mother, and especially a single mother, really being mindful of not jumping in head first if it's not going to pay the bills and it's not going to provide for you and your family.
yeah, exactly. So I would just like to add one point to the coach situation, because nowadays there's so many coaches out there and so much information. Actually, you can go on YouTube and you can probably find all the information that you need. The big but, and this is what happened to me. I'm totally guilty, going off to all these free webinars and all downloading all these freebies. I just couldn't get myself put all the puzzle pieces together. I didn't know how it actually fits into my business and how I want to run my business. And this is the trap. And so you think you're going to go on the cheap and, yeah, I don't need a coach, I can do this myself. Actually, I was quite clever when I came out of corporate, and I'm sure you as well, Rachel, because we've been working in sort of senior leadership positions. So we think we know stuff, right? But when I started my business, all of a sudden I was like, whoa, what am I supposed to do here? So no, it wasn't really until I actually got myself a coach that actually, not so much teaching me the ropes. You can learn the stuff, but it's about how do you implement the steps in the right order. How do you then test your message and everything else that you're doing in marketing, and how do you get the feedback and then someone to actually interact with you over your own campaigns and make them better and make them work. That's what it's all about. It's not about more information, it's about transformation. And that's my whole mantra. Whatever I provide now, I'm looking at things in a different format and I'm thinking, well, what can I add now to the marketplace that is the glue? It's almost like the secret sauce that really is going to make things happen and really going to accelerate some of the results, mixed with the accountability and the feedback.
That is such an important point, that there's tons of information out there, right? And we may, exactly like you said, think we know, think we're an expert, and very well maybe an expert in a field, but we're thrown so much information as it is, especially on social media. Do this, don't do that, go on this platform, use this software, that it can actually be very distracting and get in the way of us just really focusing on like what we're good at and how we can best serve and maybe fill that gap or solve a problem with our skill set. So I think the accountability piece and having somebody kind of help you with that structure, even if you think you're a very structured and organized person, sometimes with your vision or your business idea, it really takes that outside perspective to help you have the clarity and create the timeline, and even maybe to remind you with, I like tough love, like, you're not going to build Rome in a day. Let's break this down. Let's, maybe do this piece first. So I really want to emphasize for any women out there who are, already have started your business or are thinking of starting your business, doing some of this early on can make a really, really big difference, right, in the entire trajectory of your business. Do you have any thoughts kind of about that? Because I hear this a lot.
Mhm.
People have already kind of gone to step 3 or 4, and they're throwing offers out there and putting up a class and starting a group, but they haven't laid the foundational pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I see a lot of female entrepreneurs who are in the spiritual world coming to me. I mean, not just spiritual, but well-being, so emotional and physical well-being coaches, nutritionists, leadership coaches, and career development coaches. So yeah, a lot of these people, but let's say more in the spiritual world, it's really important that they take what they have and then translate it into the benefits of what someone's going to experience that is very tangible. I know they're really finding it hard to actually express that. That's probably one of my forte. I actually help those entrepreneurs get into a corporate as well if they wish to get into a corporate, because corporate is not going to they offer huge contracts, right? All of a sudden you could have a group of 100 all of a sudden rather than just a one-to-one coaching. And I would say often they come with too many offers, and I'm saying, well, how are you actually able to promote these offers without confusing yourself and without confusing your potential clients? And if someone did book for the offer, unless it's a one-to-one, obviously, say it's a group coaching, or maybe someone's also doing a membership site, all of a sudden you have only like very small amounts of people in your group, and you still got to deliver, and you still need to actually put that work in and that time in. Whilst a lot of entrepreneurs think, oh, I'm just going to go online. I'm going to leverage my time now because I don't want to do one-to-one anymore. I'm going to build a group coaching program, or I'm going to build a digital course. And then they go and they video a course, they put it up there, and then nobody buys. So just proves what you just said. You need to build the foundations, and you need to keep it super simple. You need to actually prove 1 or maybe 2 offers first before you expand. And anytime you have an offer, you only want to expand or take pieces of a bigger offer to create smaller offers, because you want to get known for one thing. You don't want to be scattergun and talk about many, many different things. It's just everything evolves around sort of a core message and a core solution.
Yes, that core message is so important. And, even that, I kind of think of it as you are your brand and what you're talking about, and having this larger offer, or, a way to funnel people in that all fits together like a puzzle. So this this free training is going to lead into a course, but it's orchestrated, and it's well thought out and planned. And I also work very closely in the mind, body, spirit space, and there's, I get it because I'm very much that way innately. However, I have this business skill set and background, and I see the same thing, that often it comes from being, I would say, a highly sensitive, neurodivergent,
Mhm.
empathic. Sometimes it's we connect so well with people that trying to fit all of those business pieces together and make sense of it can be very overwhelming and chaotic. So having somebody who is that way, and who can look at our business and give us some structure and help guide us along, is really, really important. So I'd love to hear just a little more about how you work with people. What are some of the ways that, that women, who comes to you? I think you mentioned a little bit. It's corporate, but
Mhm.
it's also spirit, mind, body, spirit as well, coaches, entrepreneurs. And tell me a little bit what that looks like when they come in to work with you. Is there a program? Is it one-on-one? What do you offer?
So I have a core program. So luckily, I actually do what I preach as well. I have this one core program, and it works on 3 levels. So the highest level is done for you. So we set up all the funnels, all the systems in the background for those that feel like, oh my gosh, I can't handle all this stuff. So it's actually extracting all this information and then putting it into a funnel with a nurture sequence, because yeah, a lot of people actually really get stuck with the technology, and they know they need something, they know they want to have the heavy lifting done, and they need to understand how it all works. So that's the really highest level. Then there's a medium kind of level where it's done with you, but it's the same sort of theme. It's really about starting off with your message and how do you want to do work. Like, it's not like here's a cookie cutter and you got to fill in all the bits and then this thing comes out. Quite often the spiritual entrepreneurs actually don't like to do it that way. So it's really about finding yourself first. That's always going to be the first step, and really listening into what is it that you want to offer, who do you want to help, and what solution are you going to bring to the table that's actually different. Because nowadays we have so many coaches and consultants out there, people can actually really choose. And if you're not standing out from the crowd, if you don't have your own methodology or signature program, it's going to be really, really difficult. And I see that now, and I'm just mentioning it here, I actually have a second arm in my business. It's called the Empowerment Portal, which is actually providing these kinds of spiritual services into corporate. And it's not me delivering, it's actually I have a directory of people that I'm sourcing. I'm still always looking for people. So if anyone's listening in and you've got something really cool that you can offer to corporates, then let me know. Because I speak to these people, I speak to HR leaders and directors, and they are recognizing that they need more sort of spiritual people coming in, teaching them some things. Like emotional intelligence was something I talked about earlier today, and we even talk about menopause at work now. We're talking about diversity, we're talking about human design and how people tick and all this kind of stuff as part of leadership. And it's about translating the message. How is this being applied? How is it going to impact, people and the bottom line? How is it going to impact an individual if you're working with individuals? And then I also do one-to-ones. It depends. Someone don't want to be in a group kind of environment or some 90-day accelerator program, then don't. We could do a 4-week intensive.
Yeah. Well, I love that you are bringing some of those spiritual entrepreneurs and other ideas into the corporate space. This is something I'm so passionate about. I've worked in corporate wellness for, over 10 years myself, and have seen a big shift in what both employers and employees are open to providing. And it's becoming a lot more, I would say, progressive and aware and based on really wellness and the whole person. So, I've been in excuse me, in environments where they bring in, massage, chiropractic, meditation, journaling, on-site, Pilates and Zumba, or now from home, even virtual meditation and all of these different things, energy clearing. I mean, it really, it's becoming much more accepted, and also not just accepted, but recognized as something that we need. We need as humans to have all of these elements and have balance, especially infused into our workday, where we can become easily stressed and easily overwhelmed, and to have a place to go, even if it's a 5-minute meditation, and have that really be supported by your C-suite is incredible. So I love the movement that you're part of with this. And
Yeah.
as I've been building a collective of mind, body, spirit entrepreneurs, have a lot of great connections in that space already. So I'm excited to continue that conversation with you. And I think a lot of the people probably viewing this would, be very interested in that and supporting that as
Yeah.
well.
And it's interesting that you say that people are getting more open around mind, body, spirit in the workplace, but there are still organizations that are trying to put a blind eye on this. And there are organizations that are still putting a lot of pressure on people as well. So, me putting my background in sort of leadership and lean management, I can now go in and say, actually, I'm unwilling to provide you with a burnout and anxiety workshop unless we do a leadership program as well that will help on the other side, helping to prioritize, helping to give that space, and being supportive with your employees and empathetic and understanding why they might be burned out and what to do if there are signs of burnout. So got 2
So
points.
important, so needed. I love that you brought up this needing to happen on the leadership side, because I think often, it's HR that's really connected to the employees and actually hear the voices, and leadership doesn't. There's still that often that disconnect between leadership and the people actually really, really doing the work and stressing and, as you said, burning out. I know because I've experienced burnout myself, and having a supportive leadership when it comes to well-being, self-care, also creating boundaries. I think it's so important that people start to be able to create some boundaries when it comes to workload, and for leadership to be open and receptive to that. So I love what you're doing. I wanted to share, Sabine is offering a free training. I'm going to put up a QR code here. You can point your phone right to this. Can you tell us a little bit about this training?
So I can't remember. I gave you a link, I think, to the five-part free training. That's my sort of signature training, I guess. I hope that is the one. So basically, it's called the Easy Client Attraction Method. So this is my signature program, my methodology that will actually help putting the right steps in place at the right time. And it's really focused on creating a strong foundation and looking at ways to automate your business. And I call it the evergreen enrollment flow, because I think that's what we all want. It's really about creating systems and ways that we do this once. We create the message, we've got the offer, we create maybe a masterclass, and of course I love doing masterclasses live. I love to do challenges as well. But there's also a way where we can actually have enrollment open between the times when we're not launching, and really having some steps in place that are actually going to do the heavy lifting in between. That's really what I teach in like small bite-sized chunks. So yeah, feel free to enroll and see it for yourself.
That sounds amazing. So I hope you guys take advantage of this and download the training. Being able to break things down into, those smaller pieces and learn actionable steps, so important. Sabine is also offering, I'll leave that up for just another few seconds here. She is also offering some free books. Here's another QR code. So please take a moment with your camera pointed and it'll take you right to her site. And anything you want to share about the books?
Yeah, about the books. So the books are kind of leisure reads. Okay, so this is not a free ebook that you download, and it's literally empowerment stories. So I had an idea about 2017 or so, 5 years ago. I can't believe it. It's crazy. I had an idea. I woke up one morning and it was literally the universe gave me an idea. Go and write a book with 100 inspirational thought leaders around the globe. And I knew exactly it's going to be colorful. We want to add inspiration, thought leadership, and the range of stories. So there are 3 books available now. I think on the link there are the first 2 books, which are more like the women's empowerment ones, which is called Rise. The first one's called Rise in Pursuit of Empowerment, and the second one's called Joy Recipes for Abundance. So I just want to mention the joy book. It was particularly fun to actually put together because we literally are talking about abundance recipes. Like we're talking 1 scoop of silliness, 2 scoops of kisses, and a bunch of hugs. Like for example, and so it's really fun, and I think it really resonates with the topic, the business and abundance interviews. So yeah, enjoy it. It also comes with a range of meditations and workbooks around some of the themes that we discussed in the book.
Those both sound incredible and wonderful, empowering, and I love the idea of recipes for abundance. Please check out some of Sabine's incredible work. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I feel like we could go on and on. There's so many, there's so many aligned topics love to talk with you about. So maybe we'll have to do another one. But please take some time to check out Sabine's offerings. And is there any other way you want to share that people might be able to get a hold of you and reach you or work with you?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, reach out to me on Facebook. It's just Sabine Matharu. I'm also on LinkedIn under my name. I'm a little bit on Instagram, but the other trying to build my TikTok now, a bit flaky at the moment. But that's the thing, you can't be everywhere. You gotta focus on 1 or 2 places. I've got a free Facebook group, so if you come onto my profile, you'll see a link. You can join the Facebook group, and any new training that I have up, I've always got new training, so that's why I was a bit, can't remember exactly which training I sent you, but there's always new training up there that you can download and see what's happening in my community.
Well, amazing. I love what you're doing. You're one of those people for a very long time. I've seen you we've always like been in similar groups and places and the name keeps popping up. So I was really happy to connect with you. We have some similar things that we're doing. And I really, I just want to invite you women out there to reach out to someone like Sabine or Sabine herself. I know you're a very busy woman, but if you're looking to start or grow your business and you really need that guidance and that strategy, that accountability, check out the work that she does because she's put a lot of time and energy and love into all of these systems and trainings and books that she's written. And she's someone I can say has really not only done the work, but is passionate about empowering women and helping to actually revolutionize and change this corporate structure. And that is so needed. Really, if you want to be part of that movement, then joining Sabine's group and paying attention to what she's doing out there would be really great.
Yeah, I think you just summarized this very well. It was actually my vision to create a platform for women who want to share their stories. That's through the books, but then also the empowerment portal, because it was actually leaders in corporate that invited me to come and do a book talk. I didn't even think about this. And then the participants after the talk, they came up to me and they said, is there a place where we can get more empowerment resources? So I actually got all the people that are in the book, this is my network, right? I said, hey, can we create some resources? I'm going to help you promote your courses and programs. And that's how this portal actually was put together. It's not my stuff. It's actually a collaboration from different people. So that's like really great sort of way, I think, as well, to actually get your stuff out, to actually collaborate with others. And
yes.
if you do want to get into a corporate, then I also run courses around how to pitch, how to position yourself, how to create those contracts, those corporate contracts. So there's another area I think that is quite new as well, and not a lot of people are actually teaching that.
Yes, that guidance is so powerful too. I think being able to, place yourself where you want to be, that really highlights and showcases your skills and the ways that you can help and show up is so important. So thank you for everything that you're doing out there, Sabine. I'm so honored to have met you. I know that you were asked to collaborate on these different projects and books and come into the corporate space because of your beautiful energy. You have the business skills, but you also have a very calm, wonderful energy and presence about you. So I know that you are a great asset to everybody that you work with.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It's been such a pleasure, and I look forward to continue our collaboration.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye for
Thank
now,
you.
everyone.
Bye.